Mikey, 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 where are you, Mikey? Where is Mr. Mikey J. Heath? Let's see if he is on. Now, he is not on. There he is. Right, we'll chat with our good friend from across the pond, Mr. Mikey J. Heath.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, mate.
Look at you with your little light on you. You're all professional. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm trying to make this so you can't just see like this close to my face. I'm trying to put it down. Is that better? There we go. There we go.
Great.
Well,
I mean,
darling.
I wish I could change my view, but I mean, it's on your phone, isn't it? It's like it's not. Very helpful.
Yeah, and it keeps like sliding. I'm trying to
It's
like.
not very helpful when someone's banging things next to you.
Sorry. Is that Stephen? Oh.
So how are you, sir? How has lockdown been for you?
Really, it's been long, hasn't it? I feel. I don't know.
Where are you? Are you
I'm
in,
in,
are you
I,
at home
I'm
in Ireland, or are you?
I am in Ireland. I'm in Ireland, yeah. And I feel as if I haven't seen London or my friends or civilization in like a long time, because what actually happened was I was in Bristol teaching like the day before lockdown happened, and I flew home, and then I was meant to be flying back to London a few days later, and then we
Yeah.
locked down, and I've been here ever since. So yeah. Oh, he's online. Oh, look, there's Sammy. Oh, Barbara. Bob's there.
For those of you who don't know, Barbara, who keeps popping up, was our wardrobe mistress on tour. So there's let's say hi to Babs.
Hi, Babsy. Miss you.
So you've been locked down over in Ireland.
Been locked down over in Ireland, and it's been what? How long has it been now? 12, 3 months, I think we've been locked
12
down.
weeks, yeah. It's been 12 weeks.
Yeah, so I'm getting. It's my birthday tomorrow.
No
Yes, my birthday
way.
tomorrow. So I'm kind of like, once that's over, I'm gonna have nothing to look forward to. You know what I mean?
I had a lockdown birthday. It's good. It's fine. It's different. It's different, and it's something that you know you will remember.
Yeah, I think it's been a tough road for everyone. There's been so much happening in the world with lockdown and obviously Black Lives Matter and all these movements and things. And it's just, I do look forward to seeing a bit of normality starting, especially, actually, things are a bit different here in Northern Ireland. We're starting to ease lockdown as of like today. So all our shops were open today. So I was in like House of Fraser today
Right.
and things like that. And it was really nice. It was like a real sense of normality about. But I'm rather scared for our industry as a whole. It's really worrying me at the minute. I feel like there hasn't been any guidance. There's been nothing being said to make us see any way forward or a way out as of yet. And every day I go on Facebook, I see something new. I see, a theatre that's closing till next year, or I see producers in trouble. And I just go, I don't really see how we can move forward in this industry without social distancing.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
I mean, it is. I previously spoke with Matt and Mike still, and we were saying the same. It is a worrying time, and entertainment will be one of the last, I think, to go back, just because there's so much that is involved with. It's not just the performers and people sitting down in the audience. It's the front of house, and how do people evacuate properly, and do you know what I mean? There's so much to go, not just with theatres, but any live event or social gathering of any kind. There's everything to factor in. I think some guidelines will come out soon, because they'll have to. What have you been doing to stay creative and whilst being in lockdown? Have you taught? What have you been doing?
I've been doing bits and pieces. I did some teaching, been doing workshops here and there. At the start, when it all started, I was doing a lot more, kind of like maybe 3 a week, and then it's kind of down a little bit. Everyone's teaching, and it is nice just to kind of break up the weeks by doing a bit from that. But apart from that, mate, not a lot. Same as everyone else. Bit of drinking, bit of eating, bit of lockdown life. But
Because you don't really, obviously, we can tell you're Irish and you live in Ireland, or that's that's your home. But obviously, you mostly live in the UK, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Right,
to go home, to go and spend 12 weeks at home with family and friends, must be. I mean, I know you can't see friends, but just to be back over in Ireland must be amazing for
that is
a
lovely.
change of
Yeah.
scenery.
And it was my mum's 60th birthday last week, so I got to be home for that. And obviously, seeing family and everyone and being here is really nice. It's the longest I've ever been home, so it's a bit weird not kind of seeing my friends or kind of doing my own thing in London, because you know how London can be different from being at home, or if you're on a job. It's especially like when we're on tour, everything's so busy and go 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 all the time. So
Yeah.
to kind of take a step back and to be given 3 months of essentially absolutely nothing to do, it's a bit of a shock to the system at the start, but it's easy to get kind of settled in, and I have been enjoying the time off. But I'm at the point now where I want to start working again. I miss auditioning. But I actually miss Joseph. I'll go back on tour. If Henry Metcalf called me in the morning and said, "Mikey, we're going back.
We need you back. We need you.
We're going back on tour, John." I would say yes. I think I miss everyone. This is nice. See, this is already what I needed, I feel. So, how have you been?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I keep saying to everyone, you just you have some good days, you have some bad days, but you just got to keep going, haven't you? Like I think what's getting me through is knowing that it's not just me going through it. Everyone, and it's affecting everyone. Not just performers, but anybody in any industry, whether you're on furlough or whether you're not. Like it's affecting everybody differently. So everyone's kind of having a different experience. So I think that's kind of like it's reassuring, because you know that someone else is feeling the same, or they've had a bad day, so you don't feel so bad when you've had a bad day, or
exactly,
you've been bored and you've gone, I've not done anything.
Is in the same boat, so it's like you can't, if you lost your job, or you're struggling financially or whatever it might be, it's not as if the whole world is kind of progressing without you and you're being left behind, because everyone,
absolutely, it's
like everything is frozen and stood still. So that you're right in saying that is a lot more reassuring. And it's obviously nice for you. You get to spend time with Stephen, of course, because you're supposed to be busy and you're usually on the road or he's away, so that's nice as well. So it does have its pros and its cons.
Yeah, definitely. I just tried to, I've just tried to kind of throw my days into like projects, around the house that, stuff that I probably would never ever want or want to do. But I've just gone, do you know what? Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, I've kind of been doing getting like a fitness fanatic thing for like a week, and I'll like eat the healthiest food and not drink, and then run every day, and then I'll get a week, and then I'll binge for an absolute week and drink and eat, and I'm back to square one. It's all, the moods are just everywhere.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we digressed through lockdown, but what I wanted for you to tell everybody was, obviously they will know that you were on tour with Joseph last year, but what shows have you done previously? Like tell us from the beginning, way back.
Okay. Way back. Oh, it is way back. So I graduated in 2013, and I think that's 7 years ago. As of, I think someone just tried to call me there, so I just hung up. So
it might be Henry Metcalf.
It was actually this
to go back.
day. What? Sorry. Say that again.
I said it might be Henry Metcalf asking you to come back on tour.
Yeah. Oh my God! I shouldn't have hung up on him. Henry, take me back. No. I have. Yeah. So I actually graduated 7 years ago today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I remember I graduated the day before my 21st birthday it was. So yeah. I graduated in 2013 from the Erdang Academy, and then from there I went into. I actually didn't have a great first 6 months when I graduated. I kind of was getting knockbacks here and there, and then I got Barnum, the national tour of Barnum, which had just been done at Chichester for Cameron McIntosh had kind of done a joint thing with Michael Harrison and Andrew Wright was in, and they did it at Chichester in a massive circus tent. And after that, they decided to take it on tour and switch out the main guy and bring Brian Connolly in. So there was a celeb in the title. And I did that. I had to wait actually 7 months for that job to start because originally I got offered Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Barnum on the same day. And I originally chose Charlie and said no to Barnum. And then about 2 days later, I had like a real sick feeling in my stomach and thought I hadn't made the right decision. So I got my agent to go back to Cameron's office and say that I wanted to do that. And they were like, we've already rescheduled auditions for Tom Thumb. And we're going to go ahead with those auditions. And they're tomorrow. So if we don't have someone tomorrow and we still want to offer them it, we'll call you by 2 o'clock, I think it was, they said. So I'm sitting there for like all night, all the next morning, got to 2 o'clock, no call, 3, no call, 4. I think it was 6:30. My agent rang me and was like, they would like to offer you it again. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. So I got to do that. And then actually when I finished Barnum, a couple of months later, I auditioned for Charlie again and got offered. So I got to do both jobs, I made the right decision in the end. So I got to
so it all came round.
Yeah, it became like, all full circle kind of. And Charlie,
I mean, it's so easy to say, isn't it, that age old saying of things happen for a reason, but they really do. Like they really do.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, and actually when I look back at when doing Barnum, I made so many friends for life in that contract that I ended up, my apartment in London that I had for 6 years, I had that with the boys from Barnum, and that's been ever since. So that wouldn't have happened in like that way of my life and stuff like that. And Charlie, actually, it ended up being the final year in the West End, so there was like a big push for that in the last year, and we added in new songs to the show and loads of different things. So that was pretty special in its own as well. So getting to bring.
Who did you play in Charlie? You were cover.
I was ensemble, and then I covered Mike TV and Augustus Gloop. Yeah, and I actually went on quite early for Mike TV because so every child, basically there's 3 of them, and there always had to be 2. Oh, there was always one child in the building playing the part, but there was always 2 Charlies just in case. And one of the Mike TVs was a little bit temperamental. He went off quite a bit, but we weren't even we were just out of previews. And so we just opened and we hadn't even started cover rehearsals yet. And we were 20 minutes or something into Act 1, just before the kids come on the carpet to go to the Chocolate Factory. And the Mike TV hurt his ankle. And it was a Saturday night and we were sold out. And the curtain came down and everyone just like looked at me. And I hadn't even had a rehearsal yet. So we hadn't even had like a cover run or a cover rehearsal, nothing, because they were meant to start the week after.
So you didn't even know where you went even on stage?
Not really, no. And they were kind of like, look, you don't have to go on. And I was like, yeah, but it's Saturday night and there's like 2,500 people. And I was like, okay, let's just do it. And I kind of like, adrenaline takes over. And I remember running to the quick change. I had one person putting on my wig whilst one person changing my clothes, whilst one person had the next scene on a script and was like reading it to me as I'm like getting ready. Blah, blah, blah. I think we were down 7 minutes. And when the curtain came back up, it was just as Mike TV makes his entrance, and everyone on the stage, like with all their cameras, like paparazzi, pan to the right to look, and everyone's just looking at me in the wing, and I'm like, with this crazy wig and hoodie on and these baggy jeans, about to like run on to be a child. And I don't know how I got through it, but I did. And it was like, it's one of those experiences where I always remember of how my training kicked in, and it just everything, like it was brilliant. It was really good. That's a great experience, that one.
Yeah.
I did a couple of random jobs after Charlie. I ended up going to I went to Milan and did Greece for Philip Klein, the big massive fashion designer. They basically wanted Greece the UK touring cast of Grease, but they couldn't make the dates work. So they went to a producer in London, actually Andrew Harding, who's an agent who also has his
I'm just getting
production.
my lighting. Hold on, Mikey.
I'll do it.
You wait for this lovely little trick, because now it's got to this lighting that I look awful. You ready? You ready?
Oh, you look good, mate. Don't worry. You always look good. That big thick head of hair.
It's like one of these little things. Look.
Oh, you got so have I. That's exactly what I've got.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really doing much at the moment, but it
You
will.
look really tanned, though. You look tanned. Have you been sunbathing?
Go on. Sorry. Carry on. You went Milan, Greece. Yes.
Went to Milan, and we did that, and it was like a whirlwind 4 days, and it was crazy. I think we like teched at like 6 a.m. and we put the show together in 2 days, and we flew to Milan, and we were all like blacked out Mercedes Benz. We were wearing £20,000 worth of clothes. You had like Victoria's Secret models walking the runway. Like it was just insane. So it was probably one of my more like iconic kind of jobs. And then after that, I actually went to Dubai, and I did Peter Pan in Dubai.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was loads of fun. If you ever get a chance to work in Dubai, go. It's just brilliant. I did that for a production company, and then Cartoon Network actually seen me, and they were putting together like a live action Ben 10 in Dubai again and Qatar. So I flew back to the UK, and then a couple of weeks later, they were like, "Would you want to come back to the Middle East for 3 months and do this?" And I was like, "Absolutely." So I went to Dubai for like 10 weeks, and then went to Qatar for a bit, and then back. And then it wasn't long after that, I did Peter Pan for Kudos. So I played Peter Pan for Kudos in the Belfast Opera House in Belfast, which is my home theatre.
I was about to say that was amazing, wasn't it? To be able to like stand on home turf and
yeah, because I'd never performed professionally in that theatre before, because it's a touring theatre here in Belfast, and I'd always had it. It was like a bucket list moment for me that I always wanted to perform there professionally. So to be there at Christmas, to play the title role, to get to work with Michael Harrison's office again, and all that was brilliant. And then after that, we went to Joseph. And then
wow. So you've been busy, really. I know you
Yeah,
said you had that kind of that lull when you came out of college, but you know, since then you've not really looked back.
a few little gaps, but I've been very lucky. I do consider myself very lucky. I do think luck has a lot to play in, as you know, in jobs that we do in this industry. You know, right place at the right time, right look,
Yeah,
right people on a panel who agrees, things like that, and things. I've been lucky enough that a lot of things have fallen into place for me that were out of my hands. So
yeah,
for that, I'm very grateful.
So one of the questions that keeps cropping up with tonight's chats with the others is, well, obviously you've just said you've ticked off like one of the bucket lists, like Belfast Theatre, but is there any like theatre or stage that you would love to play and perform, or
that I would love to perform or have performed?
Well, you both.
Well, I really loved, as you know, I loved Dublin. So the Board Gosh that we did was just amazing.
That was a special week, wasn't it?
Really special, and I had always wanted to do that theatre. But apart from that, I love the Edinburgh Playhouse for obvious reasons. I kind of love like the big theatres. I love Manchester Palace. I love the Liverpool Empire. And I fall more in love with cities than I do theatres.
But is there anywhere that you want that you never played and you want to? Do you know what I mean? Like something that you can stand there and go, oh my god, I've done that. Like
I'd love to do the Palladium. I think I mean, I haven't done Drury Lane, which it's incredible in itself. That was the one theatre in the West End that I'd always wanted to do, and I was just lucky that the West End show that I was in happened to be there. But I would love.
So that's where Charlie was.
Yeah, so I'd love to do the Palladium. I just think it's iconic. It's London. Everyone.
Well, Joseph's there next year, Mikey. You never
there.
know.
Well,
you know the words.
I'm still on hold.
Right, I'm just gonna see if anyone has any questions for Mikey or me, because this is the last little chat we've got. Then fire away. I'm just gonna make sure that I've not missed anyone.
Popping up my wine.
I do say so. Hayley's put, it's weird since March. We've learnt so many new words and sayings: furlough, social distancing. the one that always makes me laugh and kind of like grates on me because everyone uses it, unprecedented. It's like, it was like the word that everyone used, and it was just like, these unprecedented times.
That's
Like,
so
oh,
true.
change the word, get a thesaurus.
Someone's just written in the group, "How's my little girl?" I don't have a girl. I don't have a daughter. Not that I know of. I think the person might be my niece.
Corey Mitchell might be watching right now.
I think I've seen Corey pop up. Corey. Dean. Oh, Dean McCulloch's here. Hey, Dean.
I'm just trying to see. Someone said Barnum was an amazing show.
Oh, thank you.
Mikey, would you ever play Joseph?
No, I'm not right for a Joseph. If they wanted a mini Joseph, maybe.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine standing next to me with the Pharaoh and Joseph?
I know,
That'd be quite fun.
Do you miss it? Do you miss it?
Yeah, I think I've got a different experience. I think because many of you guys like Matt, yourself, and other cast members, you all went to college and you all left, and then you go straight into a show. And I feel like even though I went to college, I did my career kind of differently. I went off to the ships, and I was on ships for like 9.5 years, doing odd little jobs, like you said earlier, flying here, there, and everywhere for little tours. Great. But then obviously landing Joseph and a part of, after all that time was just surreal to me. So, and it would never have been a show that I would have, not that I wouldn't have wanted to be in, but I didn't think I would be cast in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So to be cast in something like
that, it's a big achievement, isn't it? Because like you said, you've been on ships for so long, and it being in town and stuff, and kind of getting your name out there, and people figure out who you are, and being seen in audition rooms all the time. It takes a good 6 months, I'd say, to kind of get noticed within the industry, unless you're lucky and you get a job off the bat. But to kind of be gone for the amount of time that you have, and then come back and land, a leading role straight away. You weren't cover, you weren't ensemble, kind of worked your way up. You were in there straight away. Is, in my eyes, a big achievement. So, but that's just a credit to yourself. Like, you're amazing at Pharaoh and singing and stuff. Like, I couldn't imagine a better.
You're
Pharaoh.
too kind.
Too kind.
You're too kind. You need to drink more wine. The compliments will come flying in. No, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not your typical route in. And so for me, Joseph will always now be like a very special place for me.
Yeah.
And so there are elements of, of course I miss it, but then I also miss ship life. And, I did 9.5 years on there with a lot of different casts, and I've made amazing friends, that I'm still in contact with. So, but I don't think I would. Sometimes when people say, would you do it again? I think I probably would do Joseph again, but I would be scared that I would ruin my first time, if that makes sense. Like, the first time was so special when the cast and the people
was
yourself,
really special first time round, isn't it? Even our original cast, like when we had Ed and with Corey and all those boys. Even the second cast were brilliant as well. But like, going back into a job, you always have that kind of thing in the back of your head. Oh, will it be the same as last time? Because you have an expectation. Will it be better? Will it be? I think as much as
and it gets to a point as well that you can only. There's only so much you can do with the part before you kind of go, okay, I need to move on. And that's how I felt at the end of, when we left the show at the same point. Like, there was no more I felt like I could do. Like, I'd done it, and I was happy with what I'd done, and it was time to move on. Do you know what I mean? Like, give someone else a go.
And it's a tough contract, because we weren't, we were weekly touring every week, so we weren't, we didn't have 2 week stints in any venue. They were 5 days, boom, next city, boom, next city, out of the case constantly. And we were doing 10 shows a week. It wasn't 8, sometimes 12. Like, if for a year, that's a long time, and that's exhausting on the mind and on the body. So as you said, me and you were both at that point at the end of the year being like, we would be gaining or giving anything more by staying any longer. So
And I feel like we left on a high as well. Like it was a
yeah,
good time. Like
yeah,
it was a good time to leave, like on a high, and
yeah,
that's how I would like to remember it.
exactly. Yeah, I do remember. I can still remember our last day, and how like hype we were. I still remember taking off the mic for the last time. I remember it
And we
all.
all had a bit of a moment. We all had a bit of a. There was always, like, I think for me, actually on my first show and my last show, it was the same point. It's that opening number where we stand and we sing any dream will do.
Yeah.
The
And we had like a
first
little
bit.
huddle at the start, remember? And I just remember hugging everyone before the curtain went up and being like, "Oh, this is the last time I'll sit here. This is the last time I'll stand with you." And this is, and I think that's what I love about this job in this industry, that it creates incredible memories, and you know, no situation is ever the same. You know, you go on to different jobs and different casts, and every memory is really individual, and that's why it's. I always feel like a job and a show, you take away the people and the experience more than the actual project. So that's a big thing for me. So, and like I've met friends like you for life, and you know, you got Gemma, you got Amber, you got Alex, you got the like everyone in that company. I think we were really lucky. We lucked out, I think, with that cast. There was no real person who we didn't really like that we'll speak of. But you know what I mean? It was brilliant. We were lucky.
Sinead asked, would you play Danny in Grease? I don't know if that's to me or you, but
I'm gonna say that's to you, mate.
I actually played Danny in like a high school production.
Did you? It's
Wait,
the
I
hair.
think I was 17. Yeah, that was fun.
It's the hair. It's perfect.
If you could choose any show to be in, which one would it be?
Oh, I'd love to be Bach and Wicked. I think would kind of be my
I could totally see that.
dream role. But then I'd also kind of love to be in Matilda, but then I have unfinished business there with that show. So I think that's more of a personal trying to achieve that, as opposed to maybe necessarily having a dream to be in that show. But yeah, Bach and Wicked, I mean, that's quite a stereotypical thing to say maybe, but I grew up loving musical theatre, and the first West End show I ever seen was actually Billy Elliot's. And I think it was like I auditioned. Do you remember when they used to do the nationwide searches for Billy Elliot?
Yeah.
When that first came out, and
a good friend of mine, actually in the DVD, he's the Billy.
Oh really? Oh
yeah, he's a Scouser, a Liverpool guy. My other half has taught him, and where he went locally to a like a dance school. You've taught there, Nazine's.
Oh yeah, her students are incredible.
Yeah, so and she's had another boy from in Billy, but yeah, that's through the nationwide search thing. But I love that show. That's
and I grew up loving
tearjerker, that one.
I loved it, and that's how I kind of get into musical theatre. I think I was about 9 or 10, and then I seen Wicked after that, and I remember falling in love with Wicked. Now, going to London and flying over and staying in a hotel in Victoria and going to see it, and obviously I'm quite small and quite peculiar, and you know, not every job in the world's going to be right for someone like me. No. So.
And I think it's knowing that is the main thing about performing, is knowing your strengths and your weaknesses and using them, you know.
Absolutely, I agree. I think I used to think, oh, why can I not get that job? Why am I not doing that? Like, and then it kind of, as the years go on, you kind of get a realistic aspect in your head of, you know, you have to know what's for you and what's right for you, and then work on those things and push for those things in order to achieve your goals. There's no point me standing here and saying, you know, I'm going to be Fiyero and Wicked, because that's not realistic. I'm 5'4", it's not going to happen. As much as I would say, oh, I can sing that and I'm right for that role, realistically, I'm not. So it's clever to be aware of what's right for you and push for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Someone said Peter Pan was class.
Class. Oh, Peter Pan was class. It's someone from Belfast, is it? Probably.
It just says drama queen.
So
I don't know who that is. Joan has asked me if I enjoyed Joseph. I absolutely did. It was great. Definitely a career highlight so far. Someone said Hayley's put, you've got an awesome CV there, Mikey.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Sinead asks, did you enjoy Windsor? So that was our first venue, right? Have you played Windsor before, or was that the first time with Joseph?
No, Windsor was the first time. Windsor is a gorgeous place. It's absolutely stunning, isn't it? It's really, really lovely. But I just remember it being a bit manic in Windsor because if you remember, we hadn't even fully tech the show when we were opening. Isn't that right? And we kind of did reverse, didn't we? Like Tech Act 2 and then go and Tech Act 1, and then we didn't get a dress run, and so we didn't like the pot for quick changes and all that. We didn't know if that was going to work. So I just remember Windsor being crazy.
Yeah,
but
it was. Yeah, it was a crazy time.
Yeah, I remember the kids in Windsor. They were brilliant, weren't they? They were
the what? Which ones in Windsor? The what?
The kids.
Oh, the kids.
Yeah, do you remember?
For some reason, I thought you said the windows. I was like, what was great about the windows? It's like, you've taken note of like good architecture there, Mikey. Well done. I remember. Do you remember the in Windsor where I didn't come on for the finale?
No.
Because someone had a preset the microphone in the wing for the start of the Mega Mix.
So what did you do? Did you just not come
I
on?
think it was like the third show, and obviously I go off. You guys finish the show. I'm back up, changing from the brother into the Pharaoh, and I come down. I'm all ready. I'm in the wing, and I'm like, "Where's the microphone?" To the stage manager, and I'm like, "Where's the microphone?" And he's looking at me like, "I don't know. Haven't you got it?" I'm like, "No." And all I can hear is, and I was like, "I'm supposed to be on right now." Like, and I remember just seeing someone in the wing, like looking, like as if to say, like, "What's going on? What's going on?"
It's
and I was
funny
like, "Well,
to
I
look
haven't
back
got a
at
microphone." I was like, "I can't go out if there's no mic." And
It's funny
it
to
was
look
on the
back
other,
now,
it was like
isn't
on
it?
the other side at the back of the theatre, and I was like, "Well, that's no good when I come on stage right." Like, yeah, it was funny.
It's funny to look back
then-
now and laugh at those moments because you know at that time you'd be absolutely fuming.
And I was like, yeah, but the lesson learned there, I was like, well, you know, the next time the microphone was definitely in stage right.
Definitely there. And that was it for the rest of the year. It didn't
But
change.
I love things like that when, you know, little, you know, you that can't have been helped, you know, it's something live, it just happens, you know.
It happens. Live theatre, darling.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is it. No, brilliant.
Someone's asked me if I like pink gin, and it's not pink gin, it is pink grapefruit and elderflower. And I don't really like gin, but I thought I'm going to drink some gin.
I was going to say, you don't really drink gin, do you?
No, I'm not really. Normally I'll have a beer, but I just thought, I was trying to be healthy, I think. Mikey, how's your little girl?
That's what I answered before. I definitely don't have a daughter.
Maybe Meals05.x can repost and we can get to the bottom of the.
Oh, Lydia joined. Hey, Lydia.
Andrew, would you do Joseph again? I think so, but I think I would give it a bit more of a break, so I came back a little bit more fresh-eyed to it instead of being so quick, because it was only November, right? End of November.
Yeah, end of November, yeah. And for some reason, it feels like longer.
I know, but I think that it's because of lockdown. I feel like lockdown has taken some of our like life away.
Probably.
Any musicals, like you can ask this one, any musicals you would love to do next? Where you've just said Bach, right? Wicked.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point in the industry, everyone's a bit like anything, anything really. I don't see. The future is very uncertain, isn't it? And I see a lot of, especially people that are in shows now who are lucky enough to have a contract that when they go back to work, that their contracts will be extended maybe 6 to 8 months, or for the amount of time that lockdown has been happening. So, not only have shows been cancelled, a lot has been rescheduled to next year now. So, people have been cast in that. So I don't see there being a lot of work happening in the near future. So I don't really know what's going to happen. I don't know. I'm kind of just excited to kind of get back into the audition room, see what's floating about, get stuck in really.
Well, I think a lot of it will probably go virtual casting now.
Do you think so?
I think for the foreseeable future, I think it will be a virtual kind of casting element.
You could definitely virtually cast singing calls and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But I don't know.
dance call would be hard.
Yeah, I don't know about dance. Unless maybe, with a submission, a choreographer will submit, put out the breakdown with a video of the choreography teaching it, and you have to learn it and then video it and send it back.
Yeah.
Something like that,
Yeah.
maybe. But I know what you mean. It's gonna be a weird time when it all comes back. Definitely.
But it's all things set to try us. Like we'll find a way. Do you know what I mean?
It's
Like
trial and error,
there's always
isn't it?
a way. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle with an answer, and at the moment we've just got to find the answer out of the puzzle. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Someone's asked, Mikey, how was the harness for Peter Pan?
I'm not answering that question on this. It was fine. It was absolutely fine. I had a great time. I've wore a harness before, so I've done Peter Pan before that. So I've wore a harness a couple of times, but yeah, it was good.
Someone's asked me if I would do a tour again. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think you prefer touring life to maybe being in time?
I think I'd rather tour than do town.
Yeah.
Just because of where I live.
You
I
get
have
them 2
family
days
just
off as well.
outside. Obviously, I'm originally from down south, but I think because of the life on the ships and moving around so much, different days you're in different ports and things like that. Like I liked that element of it. So touring didn't really. It was kind of the same for me. Instead of a ship turning up, it was my car.
Yeah. See, me and you kind of have like a reverse thing. You've done ships for so long, and now you want to explore touring life and all that. Whereas I'm a little bit like, I think I might like to try a ship for 6 months. I want to see the world. I want to see white sandy beaches and beautiful
You should do
countries.
it though. I think there is a lot to say about the entertainment on ships. I think there are some absolutely amazing performers and shows out on ships, which I think is so clever, and they're just made up. They're not a show. I know certain companies, which I won't name, have musicals on there, but there's other companies that have completely written their own thing, and I'm just like, that is amazing. Like, how talented is that?
What do you think is going to happen with that side of the industry and on a cruise ship? Like, what do you see happening? Because obviously, I was thinking about this the other day. Cruise ships have just managed to get everyone off their boats kind of like this week, and all the ships are now docking. So what? They're going to spend.
There's still people. There are still people on there.
Yeah.
There's still people on ships. I've still got a few friends out there.
That's crazy.
But you have to remember that they can't just send everyone off the ship, because who's going to run the ship? So there has to be like a certain amount of officers to management on board. That's just a stickler of the contract. But I think they will return, like everything, but it will be a very slow process.
Yeah, because I don't know. You think people might be scared, even if they do let people back on ships, because you're in a confined space. Will people be scared to spend all that money going on a ship? Or
I mean, we all got back on a plane after 9/11, and
yeah, true.
And I think it's I go to the supermarket, and 9 times out of 10 I see people probably wearing no mask than a mask. So
yeah,
I think it's just down to people's concepts. Like both neighbours actually had cruises booked, and they've rebooked. Do you know what I mean? Like they've gone, we're going to go.
Fair, actually, the other day on Facebook, I seen a fellow performer, and they were saying that they were going back to work next month, and I think it was on a ship, and there was like on sign going back on. So maybe things are moving quicker than anticipated.
Yeah, definitely. No, absolutely. Am I going to be doing anything after lockdown? Well, I have no idea right now. No, there are no plans, because we don't even know when lockdown's going to finish. Mikey, if you could perform a dream role, we've kind of already touched on that one. Remember to donate if you haven't already. All going to a good cause. Where's it going to, Mikey?
Acting for others.
Yes.
See? No. I did my research.
I'll try and wrap up in a minute, mate. Just get through these. What was that, Mikey? I have a photo of you, both of us at a panto party after Peter Pan, and you were taller than me.
Well, there's the first for everything, isn't there?
I was about to say, there's not many people that are. Mikey, what was it like working with Jamie?
Jamie. Oh, Jamie's great.
Hensley.
Jamie Hensley. I actually haven't really spoke to Jay since we finished, but he's an incredible talent, Jamie. I'll give him that. The boy can sing.
Yeah, he can.
So,
even on a bad day.
Even on a bad day, he sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
10 shows a week.
Yeah.
And I'm actually a big boy band fan. I love all boy bands. So whenever we heard that Jimmy Hensley from Union J was on the show, I was a bit like, all right, okay, I can get on board with this.
But I didn't know who Union J were because.
Come on.
Again, I'm just going to use the excuse of the ships. Like I wasn't here for the weekly episodes, you know. So I didn't know.
Really? No. Jay was cool, yeah. Jay was signed. He was dead on, yeah. He's very down to earth.
Sorry, I'm just reading while you're talking. Would you ever play a villain? I think you'd be a good villain.
I don't know. Would I play a villain? I mean, I think in a real serious acting role, I could probably play an evil kind of character. I think if we're talking Panto.
Yeah, I would love to play a villain.
I think it'd be a good villain.
But I always get cast as the prince, and it's great, obviously.
Because you're 6'2" with beautiful dark hair, mate.
Massive hair, mate. At the moment, massive. But yeah, I would love to play an evil character, or believe it or not, a dame.
Oh, you'd be a great dame.
I think me and you'd be great.
We could be the ugly sisters, mate.
Little and large.
Yeah, we could take it, mate.
We are both an inspiration. Thank you very much, Hayley.
Thank you.
How fun was David as Hook?
Oh, I think you're talking about David, who I did, David Batilga, who is actually, he's an Anne Juliet now. I think he just got nominated for an Olivier. He's
wow.
He was the original in Rocky Horror. Oh my God, what's that character called in Rocky Horror Show? Anyway, he's quite famous. He's American. He's quite famous in the musical theatre world. But yeah, he was cool. Me and him got on really well during Panto. He was Hook, I was Peter. So yeah, he's really funny actually. He's really down to earth and always up for a laugh and quite a kind man as well. So he is. Yeah, it's great to work with him.
Awesome. I think we've kind of got to the end. We didn't get to the bottom of your kid, by the way.
I don't have a kid. I think she means my niece because I always have my niece all over my stories.
Oh yeah, it says niece. Yes.
Oh, does it? Right. Okay, my niece. Oh, she's.
So how's your niece?
She's brilliant. Yeah, it's her birthday in a couple of weeks, so she's really good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God, Tom Regan's just joined. All right,
I was in Joseph, and you two are so good in it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
You did. Right, so I think we've come to the end because my eyes are going cross-eyed because I'm reading them and this light is glaring in my face. So I've been asking a couple of other people, the others, just some random fun at the end of our little chat. Some would you rathers.
Oh my God, I hate you.
They're not that bad. I've actually kept it quite tame.
Okay.
With you,
right.
I might not.
Oh.
No, there were some rude ones, and I just thought, no, we can't do that. We've got to be very PC on here.
Okay.
So would you rather an elephant trunk or a giraffe's neck?
A giraffe's neck, because then I would be tall.
There's some very Bad
Hit me with
ones.
it,
Wait,
go.
I've just seen another question from Sammy. If you could play another role in Joseph, Mikey, who would you play?
That's a good question. You know what? I think I would love to. I was going to say the Pharaoh there, but then I'm going to say no because I just think I would be absolutely rubbish at it. So,
I always said you'd be really good. I think it'd be really funny, like all this build-up, and then suddenly, no
I think
offense, but this short person would come out in an Elvis costume. I just think, well, it's so ridiculous anyway. You know, an Elvis-esque character coming out, and then I love it.
Like a mini version, everyone towering above me, and there was Anubis heads. No, I think I would probably I'd love to do the Calypso. So maybe that brother. Or no, the butler. Yeah. I'd love to have a go at the butler, just for the crack.
You're hilarious.
Just for the crack.
Who was your favourite Joseph? Well, we only had me and Mikey only had one, so we would have to say Jamie.
Are you gonna hit me up with a few more would you rather's?
Yes. Sorry, I was still. You check if I've missed any questions because I want to. There's some really bad ones.
Right, go for it.
No. Okay. Would you rather eat poison ivy or a handful of wasps?
I think I would. That's so random. A handful of wasps, maybe, because I think if you ate poison ivy, would you get really, really ill? Whereas I think some people eat wasps, don't they? No. Maybe.
Okay, here's one for you.
One more. This is awful.
This is one more. Would you rather be incredibly beautiful and incredibly stupid, or very ugly and super intelligent? I think that's a great one for you, Mikey.
Yeah, because I think you know the answer to it, and it's the morally wrong answer. I think I would shamefully say I'd rather be beautiful and stupid.
I knew that would be the answer.
Even though that's the wrong answer, and everyone else should pick the other one.
You are brilliant. Right, I am going to love you and leave you, mate, and leave you to your enjoyable evening. Have a really good birthday.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
I will be having a drink for you.
I'm sure you will. Send my love to Stephen.
I will. Cheers, mate. And hopefully we will see everyone soon. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers, Mikey.
Thank you. That's love.